Welcome back again to the Alpha Nerd Podcast. This is your host Kyle, along with my two co-hosts for my cinema co-hosts for my cinema section, Greg, Jiu-Jitsu, Greg and Dan.
How you doing?
Hello.
So we finally fixed Dan's mic problem, so he won't have to sound like he's talking to us from down a hallway.
I didn't think he sounded too bad in the last one.
No, because I had to fix it up though. It was the last one. No, the last one was fine. The first one when we did Batman, it was,
Like I was down a well.
yeah, it's like, hey guys,
The Ring.
So
Put him on a tape and watch him die in 7 days.
we're gonna start this off with so you guys know I have got the YouTube channel up finally. It is up, it's running, and I finished all 10 episodes that we've done prior, so they're all up.
There's 10 already?
There's 10. So from here on out, we're gonna be doing our live
Does
show.
that include
what?
the other show, or is that
Yeah,
just...
yes, the other show.
All 10. So
I can't believe it's been 10 already.
Yeah, it's been 10. Woo! Celebration! Woo!
Don't get ahead of yourself, man.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be shooting our live show, and then I'm going to take the recording from that every Friday, start working on it, and have it posted up every Monday from here on out. So if you guys missed the live show, you'll be able to catch it every Monday on our YouTube channel, The Alpha Nerd. So let's start this off with an interesting piece of news that we read. Ezra Miller, the actor who plays the Flash in the Justice League movie, along with Dumbledore's nephew in the Fantastic Beasts movie, he just got arrested in Hawaii again.
This time for not leaving a party, and then
He threw a chair at somebody and hit her in the face.
I just knew he was asked to leave a party and he wouldn't leave, and then he I don't know.
Yeah, and Greg, you have no idea who this person is.
No, because I don't watch that.
But he in 2020, a fan.
I'm looking up his history right now.
Yeah. In 2020, a fan of his got in his face and was like, I love you. And then he choked her and then slammed her off the ground. And then I think he had another assault thing in Hawaii in 2021. And then he just had this one recently. And I got to see
There was one. I saw a picture of him on the street being talked to by cops or something.
Yeah.
Was that an older one or a more recent?
I think that was the older one when he choked that lady out in the street.
So in this one, police were called at 1:30 a.m. to a second-degree assault charge where Miller allegedly became irate when asked to leave his acquaintance's home and then later threw a chair at a woman's head. The 26-year-old victim reported a half-inch cut to her forehead, which required stitches.
Yeah.
Miller was arrested following a traffic stop in the intersection of Highway 130 of Kukula Street.
Yes. I believe you're on the safe side. It was. There's a video at the end of it, like of him. Yep. I think that's the video, isn't it?
No. This is just
the video of him sitting and talking to the judge. He's just staring off. Like when you.
I mean, I've never watched I haven't watched the show.
Yeah.
But he looks goofy.
Oh, he is goofy. But when he was being talked to by the judge, he just had this blank stare, like a serial murder, like every serial murder we've ever seen on your murder shows. He did not care.
Yeah, he doesn't look stable.
No, he's not stable. And like everyone's complaining about Warner Brothers not doing anything about him. And I was laughing because,
well, after the most recent one, I heard they had a meeting or something.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna do anything about it. Do you think they're actually gonna take action?
Well,
they didn't do anything about Russell Crowe.
Well,
Russell Crowe's a different thing.
Yeah, right.
Fair enough.
He always went to jail afterwards.
Is this through Disney?
No, Warner Brothers is.
Oh, then
DC.
no. I was gonna say if this was Disney, I'd say he'd be out.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think they won't, because
the WB needs
people.
Well,
yeah.
Didn't they already film a Flash movie or something? Or we're going to?
Yeah, they're getting ready to film
with
him as the Flash.
Flash, yeah. He was the Flash in the Justice League movie, and then he's getting his own movie.
And he had a cameo in the TV series.
Guess what? They've had 7 different Batmans. They can have another Flash.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, this dude's a nut. And I was laughing. I was like, Russell Crowe did this a lot too.
No, Russell Crowe beat up grown men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's
He
true.
didn't
He
throw
didn't
chairs
He
at
didn't
women.
throw a chair at people. He's a hooligan.
My favorite thing with Russell Crowe is when he
He's like
Try
a South
call-
Park episode.
yes,
Oh, that's
born
the
in New Zealand in
listen. That's a great
64.
episode.
A hot
What are you looking at?
A hot-headed actor named Russell Crowe.
All right, don't cut it out. All right?
Oh my, fighting around the world.
Tugger
So
killed
my favorite
himself.
thing when I was reading through all that, when I was like, what is with Russell Crowe, is when he got mad, he kept trying to call down to the front desk, wasn't getting no answer. So he ripped the phone out of the wall, walked down to the lobby, and beat the concierge with it.
We talking about Russell Crowe?
Yeah, he beat the concierge with the phone. Like the whole dial-up spin phone, just beating him down with
Listen,
it.
everyone knew he was a nut. I mean, a total nut job. But listen, Gladiator is one of the greatest movies.
Oh, he's a great actor.
One
He's
of the
just a
greatest
nut
movies
job.
growing up that I ever
Between
remember.
him and Ezra Miller, it seems like if he's angry about something that he thinks should happen to him, he just gets angry and beats up a guy.
Yeah,
Ezra just like gets
Goes
pouty
off.
and whiny and throws stuff at girls.
you're right.
I'm like,
So-
really?
Yeah. So that's what I read. I started laughing about that.
Did you see that? I mean, I know it's a little off topic. Did you see that they were talking about doing a Gladiator 2?
Oh,
Where Russell Crowe is in like the afterlife,
No,
battling
no,
to try to
no.
save his
Please,
family.
Please not.
No.
Please no.
No.
I'm serious. It was an actual plot that they were talking about
That
doing.
was terrible. Because the vision part of that was just him being delirious and almost near death, and that's all it was.
Oh, you mean when before he died?
in the
Yeah,
real movie,
yeah,
in the
when he
regular
died, right? Yeah, you seen his
Well,
wife. and his
also
kid.
after the big intro, he was on that cart or whatever.
Yeah, when he became a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
yeah,
So they had a few.
Great, one of the
like-
greatest movies. I love that movie.
Oh, it was a great
Great movie.
movie.
That and Troy, they're the only two favorite. Troy's long
Yeah, Troy is
with Brad Pitt.
Yes.
I just really, I don't like what's his name. Orlando Bloom in that movie just annoys me.
Oh, and Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he dies.
He died, so it's okay.
I mean,
After shooting
Brad
Achilles
Pitt-
right in the
I-
heel, and then he
I
gets
mean-
killed. But still, he shoots an arrow once.
Yeah, he misses the first time, right?
Yeah, right.
And then he kills him with the Achilles. Yeah, but he dies. You know?
Yeah, well,
It is what it is.
The only guy even worth anything gets killed by Achilles. So the king and Hector,
Hector.
Priam and Hector.
Well, Hector, he drags around the
Right.
the palace for like 2 or 3 days.
I just he was just useless in that movie. I'm like, oh, he's pretty. I get it, girl. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
been
need a
it's been
pretty guy.
it's been a long time since I watched it, but yeah. I mean, he
He's
doesn't really
pretty
do much in the movie.
Ooh.
He escapes through the secret passages and shit.
Well, the family does or whatever.
I got it.
I think that's because that's a legend of the Romans. The Romans,
Right. It
felt
was
as they were-
Athens versus right.
You know,
the
in
Romans-
ancient Greece,
Yeah.
I'll fill in Andrew's
the
spot.
Romans felt their legend was their
Andrew, if you're listening, we
they
need you
were-
here, bud.
they were descendants of the Trojans.
Kyle don't know what he's talking
and then
about.
That's where they got their legends from. It's weird, but anyway,
It's always weird. So yeah, Ezra Miller is just going off and beating up women and throwing stuff and throwing
We went
tantrums.
We went from Ezra Miller to Troy.
Yeah, now we're back to Ezra Miller.
Hey, man, last time that we did this ADD thing, we're doing it again.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's just conversation as we go.
I
So-
think we should forget about Ezra Miller and let him
Well,
fade into
unfortunately,
obscurity.
the next subject I want to talk about
Well,
is
if he's doing the next Flash movie, he's not going to fade into obscurity.
not yet. And
I'm sure
speaking of him, unfortunately, he was in one of the movies I saw this week, which was Fantastic Beasts: Secret Dumbledore.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It wasn't bad. It just there was a lot of plot points that were very unnecessary.
I saw the trailer and it kind of vaguely looked like Doctor Strange
Yeah, vaguely it does.
because they kept like warping reality a lot.
Yeah, that's
I'm like, is this Doctor Strange?
They went into a lot of like in the first Harry Potter movies, it was always very practical magic. Like
Right.
this one was very, like you said, like the one chick throws a book and then it turns into magical stairs as she runs, so she's running up and shooting magic at
Right.
people. So, Ezra Miller's in that as Dumbledore's nephew, and they replaced Johnny Depp with Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mickelson.
Let me also tell you.
That's a whole crappy situation.
It's not concierge. It's concierge.
Concierge.
The Concierge.
Concierge. Jiu-jitsu.
The front desk guy, as they say in America.
Yeah, so I haven't been a super big fan of the Fantastic Beasts movies. I don't know. They just not hitting me right. But
you were never really a big fan of Harry Potter, though.
I liked Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah. I stopped liking around movie 7.
You are more like a Pokemon guy.
It's
the same era, man.
Yeah.
Never. I never remember you. I mean, like, I know you watched them, but I never remember you being like, yeah, I really like Harry Potter.
Oh, I wasn't like, I have to see it.
Well, I know, but that's what I mean. Like, I don't remember you ever being like...
I'm not that big of a fan. I'm not like some other people we know.
The reason why he's not a big fan is he's not a big reader.
That's true.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Did you actually read the books?
Some of them.
None of them.
I think you like audiobooks, right?
When he says
I have the audiobooks.
When he says some of
I
them,
read through the first. I read through the first one, most of the second one, and then part of the Order of the Phoenix.
So he read 2 books.
Okay,
2.5.
So you don't like the weird guy that Eddie Redmayne played, who liked the animals more. He likes people.
Oh yeah,
in the first one.
Yeah,
with that platypus thing or whatever.
Yeah, he's still in it because the whole thing's about him. Newt. Well,
I like Jude Law, but
Jude Law as Dumbledore. That was pretty good.
I just
but yeah, they replaced Johnny Depp with Mads Mikkelsen, and the unfortunate part is in the second movie, Johnny Depp really didn't do anything. He kind of talked once in a while in a very monotone.
Yeah, but in the first one, he did a lot.
No,
he wasn't in the first one.
Yeah, he was in the last 5 minutes of the first one.
Yeah, where he was like
playing another guy. He was that took the polyjuice potion and was pretending to be one of the heads of the American Wizards Bureau.
Because the second one, other than the beginning when he got off, escaped through with that.
Yeah, he didn't do anything else.
He just kind of stood there.
Yeah,
talked a little bit, and somehow everybody was like, "Oh, you're so powerful."
Yeah,
he didn't literally do anything.
Well,
and he's short, so that doesn't help his intimidation factor.
Yeah,
and they didn't do the perspective thing, so he looks
short.
Like
he looks like Johnny Depp walking around with white hair.
That's kind of sad what's going on with him right now.
So I like Mads Mikkelsen better.
Oh yeah, because Mads Mikkelsen is a scary looking guy. He's just villainous looking.
I don't know who's Mads Mikkelsen.
Hannibal Lecter and Hannibal.
Oh really?
The dude I showed you with the meme when they said when you meet a European couple. The meme I sent you a couple months ago.
Oh,
when you meet
I remember that one meme you sent me a couple months ago. We sent hundreds of memes to each other.
Because once you see him
every week,
once you see him, you'd be like, "Oh, I know."
I remember that one specific one. Though.
You should. If you were a good friend, you would.
Yeah, it's always about somebody else other than you. Okay?
Yeah, it's not my fault. You guys are bad friends.
What's going on? You think he gets another movie gig here, or you think he's done?
Who, Depp or Mads Mikkelsen?
Why would
I be talking about Mads Mikkelsen?
Fair enough. You don't even know who he is. I think after all this, he's gonna be on break for a while.
Oh, okay.
I think that's Hannibal.
He's been on break. What are you talking about? Johnny Depp hasn't done a movie.
No, that's Hannibal.
Yeah, that's Hannibal.
2019.
Yes,
is when everything started going down. He hasn't done a movie since. What do you mean?
Yeah. No, I'm saying after all this,
he's been on break, Kyle.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be on a little bit longer break. So
that's what I'm asking. Do you think he's going to do another movie, or do you think he's done?
No, I think he'll get back into movies. They already talked about trying to get him back for the Pirates. Disney's just trying to apologize. Oh my gosh. They need to let that go. That's running too long.
It needs to end.
So
if they want to do one more and suck some more money out of it, do one more.
The first 7 were okay, but now
the first 7.
I actually did like the first 3.
The first 3 were great.
I did like the first 3.
The last one I liked was the one with the fish face guy.
That was the second one.
Second, third one. Yeah, second and third one. So
was the third one where he's like in that on that jungle island and he's like running on that like circle thing?
Yes.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
I don't remember the names.
So at World's End is the name of that one.
Okay.
At World's
That's
End.
the one with the pirate nations.
Yeah. Yes.
So what happens?
And Gene Simmons was playing.
What happens in that one is Johnny Depp is like, he's like kind of in limbo. So like he's not dead, but he's not alive, and like how like back then they thought the end of the world was flat, so they thought it dropped off the end of that was the part that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where he's in like that weird world where he's running through stupid crap.
So so cycling it back to Fantastic Beasts.
Nobody cares, Kyle.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, right. So Jude Law as Dumbledore was fine.
Jude Law is a good actor.
Yes. The dude who played Newt was really good. But a lot of the other characters that they were trying to make really relevant didn't do anything.
Like the only American guy?
Yeah. Like they kept hyping him up as this important person. Like
he's the dude that was the one wizard lady like mind controlled him and the one in the marry her or whatever.
Yeah, because he was in love with her, but he didn't want to get married to her because it was against the law. She would get put in prison. Because this is the whole.
Because that's back when Muggles and Wizards couldn't
be together. Yeah, they weren't allowed to be together. So they emphasized of him being like such this big-hearted person because he's got the heart of a lion. You know, he's the really good man.
We're talking about the chunky guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's what they're emphasizing. Like he has this like such a great heart, and you know he's always trying to stand up for the little guy and do the right thing.
Right.
But he doesn't really do anything. The whole movie.
Well, no, because he
didn't do anything in any of the other movies either.
Well, no,
yeah,
but like
they just emphasize.
He had an apartment that the first guy
stayed at,
and that's all he did.
Yes, but what I'm saying is in this movie they kept.
And he said,
but he's out of his realm. Like he's out of his.
And he also had
the whole like
he doesn't have magic.
He's not in his world. Yeah, right. It'd be like me going to a magic tournament with you and being like, "I'm going to do something here."
He's like,
I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to stand around and look.
Yeah, he's the proxy.
But here's where like they did some magical, and he's like, "Oh wow,
yeah." But the problem is this movie. They went to the whole thing is like they're like. You're something special because
I remember the part in the trailer where they hand him a wand and he's trying to do stuff.
Oh yeah,
and here's the thing: it doesn't work. It doesn't shoot. It doesn't do anything with magic. It can't do anything with magic. It was
because he's not a
wizard. Yeah, right. It's just there. So like, if someone's like, "You wizard," like, "Here's my wand." Like, it doesn't do anything.
That's like you taking me to a magic tournament and be like, "Greg, do something.
Hold this deck."
Oh, yeah, right. Like, play this guy and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Like, so
take the whole time of asking your opponent how this works.
Yeah, right.
Like, what do we do?
How do I lay this? What does this do?
So that was one of the plot points I really didn't like.
So okay, let me summarize here. So he's the regular guy who somebody got caught into this for some reason.
Yeah,
because of the girl.
Because the girl and the first.
She dies, right?
No, she
doesn't.
So the girl and the first guy with the animals, goes to his apartment in New York City.
Yeah.
And he just somehow gets caught up in it.
Because the girl's sister, he gets caught up with the girl's sister.
Newt likes the girl's sister,
right? And that's how they get all kind of like entangled with each other.
Because
the sister and the guy,
because Newt went to a bank to get a loan. Like a wizarding loan, but unfortunately he met with the American guy because the American guy wanted a loan for his bakery, and that's how they all. Then, like you said, he just kind of got sucked up into it. And movie 2 was he was just.
I never watched the movie 2.
The movie 2 was not great either. It was long-winded, but it was a lot better than the first one.
I entirely disagree. The first one was fine until like the end.
Yeah,
where they got the weird animals and everybody's doing their like their primp walk.
Okay.
Where they're like, look at all my animals and what I can do. And then they fight and then,
So,
whatever.
With movie 2, it was just, he just kind of showed up and was there.
Was the second one the one with the lady with the birds or whatever? Wasn't there like a weird old lady at the end of
No, I think that's...
It was a weird old man. It was the dude who made the Philosopher's Stones in the first Harry Potter.
Anyway.
So they went through all this to third movie to emphasize like he was something special, and then he doesn't really do anything except for chase after this woman. And I was like, what? He didn't do anything. They made emphasis of the one black wizard, like she was like something super special. She doesn't really do anything. They brought one of the Lestranges in from like the original family. He doesn't do anything. He like knocks over some guys. Like there was a lot of characters that literally just did nothing but make sure they were in scenes. So it was weird. Everything with Matt Nicholson was fine. Everything with Jude Law was fine.
See, I think the problem with movies, I guess, and it's just my opinion, is a prequel to me is sometimes are boring because you already know kind of what the outcome is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you already know that however many years down the road it's Harry Potter. With
there's no risk in it.
Yeah, right. So you kind of know that nothing really
is there anything
comes of it
from these movies that connects to the original series?
That connects to it?
You know, in other words, you know how the events in the original series happen.
Yeah.
Like, is there something
that
like
specifically
say
connects
for example,
to them,
like the Sorcerer's Stone or some other object was
like,
made
do they
at this
show
point or
Voldemort?
something like that?
No, this is before Voldemort. This was the 30s and 40s.
So basically,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because it's a prequel,
and
Harry Potter comes how many years later?
Right.
That you know that nothing really big.
It was supposed to be telling of kind of like how everything got established before Harry Potter.
Right. Like,
and it doesn't really do a good job of that.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is like,
what's the point?
Right.
Yeah. What's the
like,
point?
You know,
and that's
really
because if they were like making it a series,
like if this would have been the first part of the series, and then Harry Potter came later.
Because the first movie is about a small little book she wrote about like, different beasts in the, wizarding world or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't even really a book.
Right.
It was just,
well, she wrote like 4 of the 7 Harry Potter books right away.
Right. But they're just trying to make up stuff to like associate with Dumbledore.
Yeah, right. They're just trying to keep the
that's the only thing that has
but it doesn't seem to work because it's not like J.K. Rowling's writing scripts.
I mean, but that's why I don't like prequels because you already know that in the ending what the
and speaking of prequels, like Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Again, I know this is why I don't like prequels.
Like, my one friend was so excited to go see it. Let's go see Rogue Squadron. I was like,
"Is this actually what is that, a movie?"
Yeah, the
Rogue One.
Is that it?
Rogue One.
Yeah, whatever.
Rogue Squadron is the game. Video game.
Whatever. You knew what I meant.
You're on your wrong week here,
right? So Rogue One, like, I was like this. They're like, it's what happens right before New Hope. I'm like, so. As they're like, look at this, we got the Asian.
So nothing to be honest.
Like, Donnie Yen's an Asian guy. I'm like, yeah, he is.
To be honest, it was the only good one.
Rogue One?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was.
It wasn't wonderful, but it was well done.
It was better than the 7 through 9.
Had Forrest Whitaker in it getting blown up by a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
That happened.
Had to happen.
Which is cool.
It just had to. It had to happen.
No, he's the rebel, one of the rebel guys.
Yeah. Like, so, like, we were going in to watch. He's like, I'm so excited. I was like, for what? I was like, none of these characters matter except for the one dude. They're like, no, it totally matters. Like, no, it doesn't because they're all gonna die.
It was a good story about how they got the plans and everything.
Yes, but I'm saying, is like, you knew honestly, they were gonna die.
The best part was when you had the hallway scene with Vader.
Yeah, and he just destroys everybody.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then he never does it again.
they have better effects now.
Yes.
It's not like,
so
you want an ungainly Scotsman doing it,
right? So that was the long and short of it. Like you said, this is the problem with prequels.
That's why I don't like prequels.
And the only thing that really had anything to do with the future was Harry Potter, and they made nudge references to some of the other characters. The McGonagall, the young McGonagall was in there. The whole thing with, like, they kind of put in perspective of why Dumbledore and his brother don't get along at the end of the last.
I didn't know Dumbledore had a brother.
Yes. You meet him in movies 7 and 8.
Yeah, because there's a part in one movie. Is that the second one?
We're talking about the Deathly Hallows?
Yeah. He was in Deathly Hallows.
I don't remember him.
Well, there's a part in one of the...
It's also been a while since I've watched the movie.
Is that the first Fantastic Beasts where Dumbledore refuses to go after a guy and he gets shackled with something and couldn't do his magic anymore?
Yes. That was the second one. Because they were like, you need to do something about Grindelwald. You were associated with him. He's like...
Which was Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, can't do anything. So they're like, oh, you're part of his coalition then. And then they put special things on him where he can't do any magic.
Right.
And you come to find out he just, him and Grindelwald were in a relationship. And they made like a blood promise through magic that they would never work against each other. They would never try to harm each other. They would never work against each other. or this pendant will kill him. So that was the whole shtick with that. The reason why he wouldn't work.
So basically, the authorities made a mistake.
Yeah,
because if he did anything
he
anywhere,
died,
he couldn't do anything.
He couldn't do anything. Like, not that he didn't want to. It's just he literally couldn't. And then the third movie's all about how he's trying to figure out a way to break that curse and stop Grindelwald all in one shot. So the other movie I saw this week, because we're going to move on.
Oh, your favorite. I wanted to ask about this.
Sonic 2. It was way.
Dan looks.
I am. You want me to narrate? I'm shaking my head slowly right now.
Yeah. Sonic 1
was it better than the first?
Oh, absolutely.
Was it?
Absolutely.
Damn.
Wow. Like leaps and bounds, because number one was very reliant.
Much more James Marsden.
No, actually,
a lot more.
A whole lot less.
Should have more James Marsden.
Who's James Marsden? Oh, the
Cyclops.
guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cyclops. So,
how was Knuckles?
Good. Idris Elba's Knuckles.
I was going to say that's Idris Elba.
It was great, and it played Knuckles to a T, like the super serious guy who's dumb as a box of hammers.
He didn't have an English accent, did he?
Oh no, he was just Idris Elba talking. Yes.
Did he?
Yes, he has his regular, because Idris Elba doesn't have
Idris Elba said he did Knuckles in the same voice as
what's his face from The Wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, which has Idris Elba's voice. He's like he's
English. He's British, dude.
Yeah, he's English, so he can't.
If you didn't know that, The Wire's not his real accent.
Yeah,
he worked 3 years to get that accent right.
Yeah, so
that's like his only American accent.
Yeah,
is Baltimore.
It really was not like he just was talking like normal.
So good plot.
Yeah, the what they did was in the first movie they kind of strived away from the video games, where they tried to make it a very hokey family plot.
Right.
This one they're like, we should just kind of focus on the video game aspect. So
I thought it was pretty cool because the poster for the second Sonic movie is the same as the poster for the second Sonic game.
Yes. So they did this one right, because they tried to focus on more of like the game lore. So they gave Robotnik his classic mustache. They gave him more of a ominous feel, like he's up to something, instead of just being some silly guy who has robots.
So does it explain how he came back from?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They did a really good job with it. It was. I rewatched the first one with the kids, and I forgot how irritating the first one was. I knew it wasn't bad, but it was kind of irritating with the over the top, like feel of everything, like
the hokiness.
Yeah, the hokiness.
Yeah, right.
Like me and Cheeto were sitting there talking, and we're like, the lines they delivered were so bad. Nobody was in their lines in this movie. Now, the second one was a lot more faithful to like the games, and people were into their lines. Jim Carrey toned down the silliness because he was a little too animated in the first movie.
Right.
Where the second one, he's still animated, but he toned it down enough to like make more sense. So it was decent. They put Tails in it.
Yeah, I seen Tails was in it.
Tails was portrayed correctly.
The same girl that voices him throughout the video games voices him in the movie.
Yes. So I was really happy with it. I really liked it. They foreshadowed a third movie.
Well, I was going to ask. They're
introducing Shadow in that one.
Oh, so they're going to have
they're
like
gonna
every
bring
color
Shadow
of the
back.
rainbow hedgehog now?
No.
Well,
Shadow,
the main ones were Knuckles and Shadow.
No, Sonic and Knuckles. It was Sonic and Tails.
And then
the
Knuckles
third
came.
game they introduced Knuckles.
Yeah, right.
And then,
But he was just like a brief.
Yeah, he was just the guy who was.
Yeah, right. He was just like a brief introduction. He wasn't like a main.
He was in Sonic and Knuckles, the third game. He was like one of the playable characters. And
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, then Sonic and Knuckles.
Right.
Sonic 3 is Sonic and Knuckles, I thought.
No,
I don't think
because
so.
the 3, and then they had a cartridge that connected together.
Right.
Yes,
and then you could either play it with Knuckles or without.
Through second,
Because you
third.
can play Sonic and Knuckles by itself.
Right.
You can play it with Sonic 3, or you can play Sonic 3
So
by
like in
itself.
Sonic 3, they
that's
introduced
cool.
Knuckles, but he's not like a.
Yeah.
Main
He's kind of
character.
like, you remember when Mortal Kombat introduced Reptile?
Oh yeah, okay.
Like Reptile,
Yes.
like you've seen him.
But he didn't really do anything.
right.
You did fight him at the end of Sonic 3, and then Robotnik runs away, and then you go after Robotnik. Okay, so yeah. Oh my gosh, my gaming history. So
I'm not even a gamer. And I remember.
So the third movie is going to introduce Shadow, which Shadow didn't get introduced till 2004, 2005.
Yeah, Shadow was
So
later.
with all the terrible games?
There's also,
Yes, the terrible ones.
Yeah, there's also a pink hedgehog too, right?
That's Amy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they need to stay away from Amy. If I will boycott
Are
this
they going to
film.
introduce a love triangle with
Knuckles.
Shadow, Sonic, or Knuckles, and a human girl for no reason.
Right.
Oh, you mean like
in the video game?
the 2006 game? Oh,
That is amazing.
that was terrible.
So bad.
If you didn't know, Greg,
I didn't know.
it was literally marked the worst game of the 2000s.
Because they had like an anime girl, the
Yeah,
pretty one, except Sonic's in a relationship.
it was like
with her.
really weirdly
Okay.
animated.
It's weird.
Like Robotnik had a weirdly shaped like fat roll on his head, top of his head. It was really weird. And the big thing in that is a human girl fell in love with Sonic the Hedgehog, and then she kisses him to bring him back.
If we're gonna go back to stuff like, a human girl, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring up Roger Rabbit.
yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
That's cartoon on
that's
cartoon.
cartoon on cartoon.
That's a whole different shtick.
Right.
So
Which, by the way, I seen that movie on the other day, and I watched that like I was a little kid again.
yeah, I loved Roger Rabbit. So what they're doing this
compared
is,
to some of the stuff today, Roger Rabbit's pretty risque.
yeah, it was.
And it was considered almost a kid's movie back then. So
Yep. So they're foreshadowing a third one with Shadow the Hedgehog, which I'm looking forward to because I like Shadow the Hedgehog. His story was interesting.
you would.
I would. Yes, I would. I grew up in that era. I would like it.
We all grew up in that era.
Yeah, but you didn't play games, so
Yeah, it's true.
you weren't there for it.
right.
You didn't
You
go through
weren't
the
there.
you weren't in the trenches with us.
No, I was on the outside shaking my head, looking at you like,
Yeah, you didn't live that nightmare. So
Everybody had their extracurricular activities, and this was not one of those.
so those are the two movies I saw.
I mean, I remember Rival Schools.
Rival Schools.
Rival Schools.
I've never seen him play that before.
Oh my gosh!
Gave him a seizure.
Gave me a really bad headache.
Yeah.
My head started spinning after a while.
So, speaking of Hannibal with Mads Mikkelsen, I'm actually going to probably go back and watch that because it looks fairly decent.
Yeah, well.
Have fun with that.
Oh, I haven't really seen it. Most of the time, most of the scenes I've seen where it's just him verbally sparring with some guy.
Yeah,
And since he's polite, he doesn't kill him.
yeah, until
and
10
that's-
minutes later in a back alley, and then cooks him and eats him. So,
Look, for the record, he only kills people who are impolite.
fair enough.
Or maybe who are a travesty to classical music, for example.
Oh, like that one cello
Red
player.
Dragon. He killed a
cello player, or tuba
like
player.
first chair cellist because he
messed up a note.
because he was in the opening scene. He was listening to the orchestra, and the guy missed a note once in a while.
Well, that's his own fault for being bad at his job.
And then Hannibal shot the detective, and he got shot with a crossbow, or is the opposite? I forget.
No, he stabbed him in the stomach and then went to slice his throat, and Will Graham stabbed him with a bunch of arrows in the chest, and then shot him.
So
like
you were
6 times.
totally wrong.
Somebody got shot
Yeah, right.
because Will Graham shot him after he stabbed.
There
him
was a
in the
lot of stabbing first.
yeah. There's always a lot of stabbing with Hannibal Lecter.
Do you remember was it the Red Dragon or whatever? Where he did.
Do you see?
Yeah.
I was watching the South Park recently with that.
Do you see?
Do you see?
Oh my gosh, yes, I see. Just kill me.
This is for me in Vermont. We had a nice time. There was a gift shop.
Carp's
Do you
like-
see?
and Carp-
Do you see?
It was
This
like,
is
"Yes, you're boring.
This is so boring.
Oh my gosh. This is so boring. Just kill me.
Oh man. Oh, I like the scene where the cop goes into his house.
How about, yeah,
He goes-
he does the
He
right
goes,
hand.
He's not our guy.
He's not the left-handed killer.
These are all right hands. And he goes,
He turns his hand the other way. Oh my
blows
god.
his mind.
So
Oh.
stupid. But it is like a montage music
Of trying to figure out
Yeah, with
what
him
left
doing
and
like all
right.
kinds
No,
of
that
research.
was the one where Cartman, like, he hit his head or something and thought it was
Yeah,
psychic.
he jumped off the school building thinking that he could fly.
Okay.
Like he had like these cardboard wings. And he was like, everyone, I figured out how to fly. And Kyle's like,
Do
you
it.
can't. Yeah. Kyle's like,
Jump.
everyone's like, don't do it. He goes, I believe in you. Do it. Jumps off face first into the ground. And he goes into the coma. When the weeks become the months become the...
years.
And it's only for like 2 weeks. And they put this fake face
Beard.
warmer on him. And it's a beard.
It looks like a beard.
he comes out and he's like, my ice cream is supposed to be here, and the cop's like, how'd you know that, little boy? He's like,
So they start relying on him.
They think he's a psychic,
and then Kyle tries to get into it too. And
because Cartman
Kyle does the research and finds out who the killer is.
He does all the science,
and none of the cops are listening to him
because he's not psychic.
And so he does what Cartman does. He jumps off
to pretend he's psychic.
He jumps off the building and goes into a coma.
The scene I remember the most. He had the beard, fake beard. And he's like, goes, remove the fake beard, and they remove it. And then he says some stuff, and he goes, "That's good. That's a good prophecy or whatever." But it's no Eric Cartman.
Yeah. This is a good psychic, but he's no Eric Cartman.
Oh my God, he made a fried chicken sundae. It's such a good episode.
I see sprinkles and M&Ms.
All right, I don't even know where we're going with this.
No, we just broke off into
this is the ADD thing we were talking about.
This is what we do. So,
have you seen any of the new episodes?
No.
Of South Park?
No.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I have to watch them.
They've gone more crazy because they had to keep up with the culture in general.
Well, I think a lot of people got sick with the. So I did. I know I personally did for those 2 seasons where
they were trying to run a through line of the member berries.
Yeah,
and stuff like that,
the member berries,
or the
PC principal,
and the trolling.
Yeah, it was just irritating how they tried to stay on it was almost kind of like they tried to do a long movie,
like a running series.
Yeah, right. Instead of you remember how we grew up, it was just like a random episode that made fun of something in the world.
Right.
Well, they went 2 or 3 seasons where they did
before Tegrity Farms.
No, it was before Tegrity Farms.
Because Tegrity Farms is another one.
Farms.
Yeah, Tegrity Farms.
That's funny.
The only Tegrity one I liked is one where he goes to China. And him and Mickey's a crazy.
The coronavirus one. Yeah.
and
bang the pangolin.
Pangolin.
I said pangolin.
Yes. So
I didn't curse.
But I will talk.
I'm gonna get up and walk out on this place.
No, it wasn't that.
We can open the door without your.
Yes,
app.
you don't need me. You don't need me for that. So, have you broken your wall, by the way, with Soul Eater?
No, I haven't. I'm still at my brick wall.
Okay.
Well, you just don't like it that much.
No, there's just running that part where after they.
It's the same storyline.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't like it very much.
It's the same storyline.
Plus, the main character he likes is the most irritating guy in the show.
So,
the blind
Black
guy?
Star?
Yeah, I don't
Black Star.
Black
You're
Star.
Right.
I dislike him entirely.
So my issue with it is they get done with one big storyline and they go into the next storyline, but it's like the same story.
It is.
I'm like, it's the same story.
The only good part is Excalibur. That's the only good part.
That's the worst part.
It's hilarious.
The whole show.
The only reason I like it is because
I literally want to throw my remote through my TV.
I don't watch it all the way. I just watch that part.
The Excalibur episodes, I'm going to throw my remote
They were his
to the
least
TV.
favorite.
I think they're funny because they're ridiculous and stupid.
Fool.
Right.
I need to have
Kind of reminds me of Monty
31
Python
eggs every morning.
See, I never got big into the Monty Pythons though either.
Yeah, it's like the non sequiturs.
Tis a scratch.
Yeah, just saying weird stuff for no reason.
I like
that stuff.
So yeah, I kind of hit a brick wall because I was like, I'm going through the same storyline again.
Right.
It's like the infiltration of the school instead of Medusa. Now she's trying to have her son or whatever he is or she is, and infiltrate it now. And it's like it's the same story.
Yeah. And there's always a new person or new lackey trying to infiltrate the school.
Right.
Yeah, and I get it. So we might be putting him off into another anime for a little while.
So yeah, I kind of hit a brick wall with it.
We just got to figure out which one to put you through.
I like your phrasing. You're acting like it's a form of torture.
It is a form of. It actually kind of is, to be honest.
You're not a big fan of anime necessarily.
No.
No, he's one of the alpha males that like Dragon Ball.
Cheetah. I love Dragon Ball.
I know.
Cheetah had an idea for one. I can't.
Oh, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Is that the one?
Yes.
That one's ridiculous too. But
yes, they're all ridiculous. I wouldn't be like, hey, this is just the Dragon Ball Z slight variation. I'm gonna put you on some weird stuff.
Yeah, the dungeon one's weird.
They're all weird
because it involves like various pantheons of gods for no reason.
Yes.
I mean,
but it's supposedly like a
RPG kind of thing.
Kind of
too.
like the title suggests it's about dating, right?
Yes.
But it's not really
At all.
But it's not. Has nothing to do with dating.
No, like and that's why
At least Death Note is topical. That's what it's about.
this guy writing notes and killing people.
Yeah,
with them.
exactly. It's not that great, but
I watched that movie.
You like that
Ugh.
well enough?
I mean, it was all right.
Ugh.
I wouldn't say it was
Kyle
like
doesn't like any anime that requires thinking at all.
No, I liked Death Note itself, but the live action movie was.
Oh, there was a
bad.
live action movie?
Oh,
it's
yes.
on Netflix. Watch
Oh
it.
wow, that explains it.
Watch it. Willem Dafoe does the voice, right?
Yeah, Willem Dafoe
Willem
is
Dafoe does
the
the Death
Shinigami,
Note voice.
the spirit of the Shinigami.
Uh,
Yeah,
There's not a lot of good anime on Netflix.
not
It's
anymore.
not. It's live action. It's not anime.
It's close enough
If he's the voice of it,
because
What is
they
it?
Well, because they
CGI.
did CGI.
They did
yeah.
CGI
I
for
was
that one
confused there.
character.
They did CGI for him.
Uh,
It wasn't bad. It wasn't. Listen, as someone who's not into that stuff, it wasn't. To me, it wasn't bad. But I also don't know the whole.
you didn't watch the
Yeah,
original
right.
series.
It wasn't a bad movie, but I wouldn't sit here and say it was like this phenomenal movie though either.
I prefer anime that's based on like a manga or something that's established and has a storyline,
Yeah, so
and also
Um,
isn't so like off base. Like it's more of a traditional science fiction story.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
So,
I
or
like things.
fantasy or what have you.
I like most movies or shows or things that have a realistic base to it, and this is like why Kyle tortures me with
Weird off-kilter stuff.
movies like Killer Sofa and
The Armchair Death.
yeah, right. Like it's like
Velocipaster,
Velocipaster, yeah.
or Grizzly
like-
Park. Remember Grizzly Park?
So-
What is-
So like he tortures me with these
That
movies.
one's pretty good though.
it is.
So he
It's
tortures me with
ridiculous,
movies
but-
like this, and he's like, "We need to watch it for the show." And I look at him, I'm like, "You know, I can't stand this stuff. That's why you're watching."
I like the Excalibur from what's that? What show? The one with the talking sword. What's that one again?
Oh, the one I'm watching.
Yeah, you want.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I like that is because I grew up with like Ren and Stimpy. And it's
loved Ren
a
and
lot of
Stimpy.
non sequiturs didn't make any sense, and he's just like doing something and randomly does something else for no reason.
Listen,
That's why I like that.
I remember Ren and Stimpy as a kid and watching it,
It's
and
messed up.
remembering my parents being so mad about me watching it, and I couldn't figure out why. And then as I was older and I went back and watched Ren and Stimpy, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh my god, that's why my parents didn't want me watching it."
There's a lot of messed up stuff in
yeah,
there.
like a lot. I was like, "Oh, that's why my mom didn't like me watching Ren and
It's
Stimpy."
borderline horror movie stuff.
Yeah, or like really adult jokes.
Yeah, right. Like extreme adult.
Like Cinnamon Toast Man.
Cinnamon Toast Man.
Toast.
Grab onto my buttocks.
Or how about the episode where Ren's got the saw in his stomach? Do you
Yeah.
remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where they went camping, the one thing, and everything was like the one crazy guy show up. He's like, I love skinny dipping.
Oh yeah, the real skinny. Yeah,
weird guy.
Yeah.
And then the Ren catches on fire and he runs out of the woods. He's like, I love skinny stomping. He's stomping on Ren with a giant boot on.
And then there was a late one where
Or they had beaver fever, because they drank that water with beavers in it. Like,
and then there's a later one where they're acting like husband and wife for some reason, and went on.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
well, that's what I'm saying.
And then there's like, what was his name? There was an ex-con dressed as a baby for some reason.
oh yeah.
And he goes, "What would you like to drink, Junior? Meat. What would you like to eat, Junior? Meat."
Well,
Or they go into a portal where all the left socks in the world end up.
yeah,
Yep.
That's a good one.
yeah. I remember being as a kid. Why can't I watch this? And as I got older, I like started rewatching it when I was like in my 20s. I was like, that's why. That's why my mom didn't want me watching it.
Don't whiz on the electric fence.
Yeah. Don't
My-
take whiz.
my
on
dad-
the electric fence.
My dad didn't care.
Yeah.
You watch it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I watched it too.
Whatever.
I watched
Yeah, right.
Rocco Modern Life.
Happy, joy.
Oh,
my gosh, yeah.
Speaking of it, Rocco's Modern Life was
Yeah, that was weird too.
take a gaze into
Yeah.
my nipples
Yeah,
of the future.
Hey, believe it or not, though, if you want to go back and watch Rocco's Modern Life, it kind of shows you, like, trying to give you, like, advice about stuff. Like, remember when he got the credit card
Yeah.
and he, like, way overdid his max and he became poor? It was kind of like telling kids, like, hey,
These are things that you're going to have to deal with.
Right.
That's why I like that show.
But Mr. Fathead,
Or they went over the one episode
Mr.
about
Bighead,
racism.
Mr. Bighead is, like, my favorite. person on that show.
Yes.
The
Smashing plates. The toad.
I kind of remember him.
Like they had the one episode where Heifer was dating an elk, and Heifer was raised by wolves.
Yeah.
And they were going over like
Wolves.
racism, classism of like wolves. So they're
Yeah.
like, you can't see her. She's an elk. Like, oh, there were some crazy episodes. Turn the page. Wash your hands. Turn the page. Wash your hands. Filbert. There's so many.
What was it? Well, listen. Phil, did he marry the cat? Was she a cat with a hook?
The hook
with
for
the
her
hook
hand,
for her hand. She was like a doctor, right?
Yeah, she's
okay. Didn't she have an eye patch too? She had like
no. There was times she just wear an eye patch for no reason, but she had both eyes.
All right. She had like a hook for her hand and an eye patch. I was like, what the heck?
She was always smiling.
Hey, did you see that? Since we're talking about old cartoons, did you see that?
Hutchinson, Dr. Hutchinson.
Is that her name? Did you see
Paula
that?
Hutchinson.
Did you see that in Hey Arnold? They finally tell you what happened to his parents.
Yes, some overcontrived. They
Yeah.
they got a sleeping sickness in
Yeah,
somewhere in South America, and
Central
there was a pirate.
America. Yeah.
There was a pirate after him. Yeah, that was a really bad movie. That was a really good show, though. That came a lot of things too. That was also about racism and stuff.
Well, I think a lot of our shows younger kind of dealt with it. I mean,
Dealt with real world problems.
I mean, Doug Funny did.
Yes.
It dealt with a lot of serious stuff.
Yeah. I love Dr. Hudson.
Kate.
He's got a big old hook. Oh man.
It's like your love of Freakazoid.
Oh my gosh.
I liked Freakazoid.
Come on, Jocko, laugh with me. Laugh with me.
I just like it as.
Did you go and Google Not the Bees? Wicker Man, Not the Bees.
I showed him the scene with Not the Bees. He never saw it before, so I showed it to him.
I haven't seen
He's
it.
like-
I remember that movie, and I remember I don't like Nicolas Cage really that much. So.
That's all you need to know.
We were just going over the last show, and
As
it
I
came
said,
up,
maybe.
and Kyle goes, "Oh, you never did see that, did you?" I said, "No," and he brings it up. It's
Not the Bees.
first of all, the way he's yelling, those bees would have flew right in his mouth and shut him right up quick.
They're stinging me.
Apparently, if they're man-eating bees, yes.
Right? So we're in the last quarter. So let's talk about the last two episodes of Moon Knight.
Must we?
We got to. Or at least that's why I knocked it down to 15 minutes. They were not as good as the first two. They were decent.
Listen to you. You were all excited about them and trying to introduce the third.
Oh no, I'm excited about them introducing third personality, but the episodes themselves were not too great compared to the first one and the second one. Like it was a whole lot of. The third one was better than the fourth one. The fourth one was like I feel the weakest with the tomb, and that was really long and drawn out.
Yeah, well, I think they're getting to that. They're like in that. They're in that odd place right now where it's. They need to get to the end of the series. You know, like they need to set up. They need to set up the end.
Yeah, they gotta create enough
right.
drama.
Yeah,
and,
they're at that weird spot where there's not like a lot of action. It's just like a setup to the next
expedition.
Right.
The
Set up
problem
the
I see
trails.
is that they have to make a decision about whether or not they want it to be about the character or about the world. Because, like, in the one scene where they're like, he's the avatar of Khonshu, right? And then all the other avatars are in the same room.
Well, yeah, they're
They're
in the meeting.
All of a sudden, they have this meeting about a bunch of exposition for no reason. Like, is it about him or is it not about him?
Well, it's about Khonshu. They're trying to reel
'cause
Khonshu in.
My indication was they didn't care about Khonshu. He's not even talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Well, they
And he
banned
wants
him. They kind of banned him from.
Because he wants to be involved with the world and they don't.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
They only
just
go through the avatars. He wants
Yeah,
to be
he wants to
directly
actually be.
He
He
wants-
wants to actually do stuff to the world.
involved. Like, straight up.
Yeah, he still wants
That's why
to
he got
be part of
that's
the
why he
world.
got in trouble for turning back the stars. You know, the first thing he did was he did the eclipse, right? That was
Yeah.
the first thing he did.
Yeah. To,
And then they
to
warned
get their
him. And then they
attention.
warned him. That was when they had the meeting. They warned him to stop meddling with the real world.
Because is that where you think they're going to? Where they're going to explain what these things they're doing and how they can do this stuff?
Like,
well, I mean, they're
because
gods.
Thor's literally not a god; he's just an alien
that has ridiculous amounts of
Right,
power.
right.
a lot of technology and all this other stuff.
That
And-
made it seem like magic.
Yeah, but these are magical beings, basically.
Right, these are supposed to be gods.
Right.
So, are they going to explain that? You think, or is it just going to be?
Well, I think. I'm hoping what they do is they explain why they decided not to meddle in. And is that what you're trying to say?
Well,
Why
what
they
I'm
decided
trying to
not
say
to
is
meddle
how
in the
they
real
can
world?
do this stuff. Because, like,
Are
Doctor
they-
Strange can warp reality to a certain extent, but he has to do it within a certain way, like with
Yeah,
words
he
or
can't just
whatever.
do what he wants.
But they can just do it by doing it.
Well, yeah, because they're gods.
But that's what we're.
Whereas,
Like, are they going to try to explain it as in, are they just gods and they're going to leave it that way? Or are they going to try to
are they like
explain it so they're like people that can?
No,
Have you seen,
I think
have you seen the
uh,
Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
Yeah.
You remember the second one with the celestial guy?
Yeah, his dad.
Yeah. Are
his
they like
dad.
on that level? Or are they like different? I don't know.
Like, are they going to tie them in a way, or are they just going to leave it magic?
That's a question I'm thinking about.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not saying magic, but if you go back to obviously Greek and Roman times, Egyptian times, they all believed that there was a certain god for a certain
Yes, but
thing of the earth. Like there was a sun god,
And my
there
other-
was a rain god.
my other
there was
question is-
like that's what it is.
Yes,
That's
that's
what they're
standard-
saying.
yes, but what they're trying to do is with Marvel, especially with the cinematic universe, what they've been doing is trying to.
Oh, you're trying to see how they're
explain
going to
it.
connect it all together.
Yeah, see if they're going to just leave
okay, I
it
got
they're
it.
gods, or are they going
Right.
to try to.
Because the thing about this, there are different pantheons of gods, right? In real mythology.
Yeah.
And, yeah, well, yeah, there's higher
so,
levels,
like,
right?
Well, how is it that an Egyptian god can judge somebody in, like, I don't know, the Swiss Alps, like in that one scene with the old lady?
Just because.
How is he involved? He's the avatar of some Egyptian god, and somehow that matters to her.
Like, yeah, they
Are they,
didn't
like-
explain how he got
'Cause if
that
that's-
following and everything. All of a
If
sudden, he's
that's-
just like,
or is
hey,
it just people who decide to follow him for some reason?
yeah, which they didn't do a really good job explaining how he
Because
came into.
Wait,
the
are we
past.
talking about when?
'Cause-
Are we talking about the first episode where he does the
first,
fucking
whatever episode, yeah,
That was definitely on me that time.
Yeah, the first one when he wakes up in the mountain village or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. So
Well-
I would say that he could judge her because she was a follower, right? Because she was
no,
his
he
follower.
judged other people that weren't his followers. Like that random dude who picked up the scarab. He's like, he looked at his thing, judged him, and then killed him instantly.
So they must,
What
because
random?
if that's
At the end of the second episode, remember when he got done fighting the jackal? He found the scarab laying there because remember she was just hanging out behind the thing on her moped, watching him pick up the scarab. That homeless person picked up the scarab. The main villain guy walked up and said, "I need that," and then judged him and then killed him right there on the spot.
Yeah, okay.
So I think what Dan's going for is like, are they going to explain all this, or are they just going to leave it up in the air?
are they like the judge of everybody for some reason?
Yeah, like are they?
Which doesn't
Are they
make
only?
much sense.
Yeah, like
So you're saying because of a different religion that God can't judge
yeah.
them?
What we're saying is like if those gods exist in that pantheon, like will they be able to go to like Norway and judge Viking people like where
that's what
Odin and them? Like
that's what I'm trying to ask you. You're saying because say I'm a Christian or I'm whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
I believe in God and Jesus Christ. So what
Yeah.
you're saying is they can't judge me because I believe in a
Yeah,
different
Yeah, I was
like, are they
wondering
going to
if
be
that's the
interviewed?
case or
Right.
Can they just
okay.
interview with
Okay, I got
everybody,
you,
or
I
are they
got you.
just certain?
within the context of that universe. Like
I'm saying just in the context.
Are they
Yeah,
restricted
that's a
to
good
people
question.
who believe in that?
I would say
religion?
they're restricted to people who believe in them.
But like
Because-
I said, he killed people that are not. He judged somebody who wasn't part of his. Like, is
Yeah,
that
but how do you
homeless-
know they don't believe in that?
But it was some random homeless guy. He just said, "What's this?" And he
That's
picked up the
amazing.
gold
I mean,
scarab,
you
and then he's just like,
You know, looty loo. You know?
"Yeah, that doesn't automatically make you
then
part
again,
of a religion."
then again, you could say it's like a balance of power thing because traditionally the Norse pantheon were involved.
Right.
They just kind of took people's spirits after they died for
Mhm.
Valhalla or whatever.
To Valhalla, yeah.
So most of the time, like
Where
in,
they all fought
like in the first Thor movie, you had that big battle in Norway with the ice giants against.
Right.
They weren't involved unless they're fighting each other, and that's it.
I'm gonna say they probably. I bet they don't. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they don't explain it.
Yeah, I think they'll just leave it up.
Yeah,
in the
they're gonna
wind.
leave it like it is.
Just leave it up to the wind.
He's just some evil guy judging people.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Some evil guy.
Yeah. Yes. Cheetahs.
Listen.
What?
Cheetahs.
Listen. I've done a good job for 2.5 months.
Yeah,
What's
you
the
need to do a better
What's
job.
the problem?
We'll talk to you about it after the show.
Okay.
It's funny.
So no comment as of now.
No comment as of right now.
Okay.
So, do you think?
Because I said.
Yeah. Do you think we're actually going to pick up the pace in this, or do you think it's going to stay more psychological and then just kind of finish the story?
I'm actually hoping it's more psychological because it'd make it more consistent.
Well, how did you like? You watched it, right? How did you like
The first one?
How did you like the ending of the last one, where it shows him the psych ward? Because that kind of goes with the comic book, right? You never know. You never know if he's really.
Yeah, but
if he's really doing what he's doing,
the
or if
problem
he's
I
actually.
have with it is that either they're trying to be too many things at once.
Yeah, because
Right.
the minute they found a sarcophagus and opened up and saw his other self, and then they're seeing a god, they kind of like they're.
Yeah, but is that him going back into a mental break?
Fair enough.
Because my thing is that
you know what I mean? Like, is that him going back into a mental break again? And
but I feel like they should have started out with.
You're right. I believe that too. That you are right. They should have started with that scene, and then came into where he was. Right.
Well, the thing is, they have the psychological element. They have the superhero action, stopping the bad guys element, and then they try to philosophically like conflate good and evil all the time. So they have the Khonshu doing what he does, and you need Ethan Hawke's character doing what he does, and they talk about it kind of.
Aren't they?
But it's not. It's kind of stilted because Ethan Hawke's is like his character is very certain about what he wants.
I mean, aren't they all inherently all kind of like on the bad side though? I mean, because they're really just trying to get you to do their will, right?
Yeah,
they're just trying to get you to do what
they're
they
trying
want.
to manipulate you.
Yeah, right. And
but they haven't really done a good job of explaining it, really.
Right.
Other
And
than
that's-
saying,
I think that's-
Khonshu will only do it when something bad happens.
Right.
The other guy
when
is,
they actually commit.
He
the
can
crime.
see into the future and see your
Somehow.
decisions,
and he's just
right.
like, you might make this decision, so I might as well kill you now.
But traditionally that God only did it after you died.
Yeah.
Well, that was another thing that we were watching. And Cheetah did the eye of what? Ra?
Yeah, the Eye of Ra. They did it
the wrong
They're
way.
like, this is the eye of this person. I was like,
And Cheetah was like,
no,
that's
it's not.
wrong. That's the
Yeah,
eye of
right.
someone else.
Right. There's only one eye, and that's Ra because he's the son.
So
As far as I know,
we're gonna see what goes on with this. Do I think these are better than the first two episodes? No.
No, but I also feel like it's going into the Book of Boba. So in the Book of Boba, the first two episodes were really good.
And then
And then the next two or three were kind of like meh. And then the last two were good.
Yeah, so we'll see what's going on. But we're on the last 2 minutes.
I
of
have
the show.
Horus. I have Horus as the moon eye, and the eye of Ra is the sun.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yes. So
I was mistaken.
yes, my know-it-all fiance. All right. So we will convene in another 2 weeks, and hopefully the show will be done because I think it's only supposed to be like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
So
6.
we'll have to get some new movies. I'm going to be watching Ultraman coming up.
Oh my gosh, is
Yes.
that another anime?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it.
What service is that on?
It's on Netflix. Remember the old Ultraman show where it was
I
the
think-
giant guy and
I
he'd shoot the
vaguely
lasers with his hand like this?
Kind of.
Yeah, they made a show about it, and I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
All right.
Look at that.
So have a good night, guys.
See you guys.